Someone asked me earlier, are you still buying collections? This was a weeks ago. And then I think one of your recent videos, you bought your most expensive collection. So you still are buying collections. So are you still buying collections? Just start there.
Yes, not as much as before. Just because it is tough. I guess maybe the people who like this will be interested. Like flipping cards it's very slim margins, and it's a lot of
people
work.
Don't talk about that.
Yeah, and I want to
interrupt you, Try. I am sorry. Rhonda wanted to kind of join and hang. So Rhonda, anytime you didn't have a camera and we couldn't hear you, anytime you want to call in, join us. But okay, so I don't think people. It is hard to make money, and so I was telling another friend that the margins are not big, and sometimes they're not always profitable.
I think the thing I noticed is like last year, I went like balls to the wall. I was like, let me just do everything I can to see how profitable and how big I can make this flipping cards. And I was surprised. Just it's really hard to scale it. I still believe that if people are going to do it you want to make a little extra pocket money to build your PC or this and that. And that's kind of basically what I was doing for a long time. It was going pretty well. I was like, oh, I just need to, up it and it'll go really well. And it's been a good year, but I guess now I'm just like, man, it is so much work. It's so much effort. So I probably will not spend as much on cards in 2026 as I did in 2025 in terms of like flipping activity.
Okay, I have to ask the question because I've asked you before, and you've come online and said you never have paid for the advertising or buying views. Yeah. And someone just mentioned, 300,000 people didn't watch. I didn't realize it got up that high. That's an insane number if you had a video go 300,000.
Oh my God, are we still doing the buying views thing? Okay.
I mean, 300,000. Yes. First of all, congrats and kudos if that's not, but it does make you like, damn, dude, why that's crazy in this in the space. But it is, to Neo's point. Okay, he says that kind of stuff. You do have I don't know, man. It is a big ass number.
Yeah, I think it's kind of what we talked about before, though. The thing about that video is I think you could watch it if you weren't super into cards. I think those are the videos that do well. The retail sports card videos, or that one to reach 300,000 people, you kind of have to do more of something that breaks into the mainstream a little bit. And that's what that one was.
And that's what in our conversations, I don't know about on the live, but and it's 200,000, by the way. So let's give you some credit there, not 300. But what do I want to say? You are big on, you're studying the YouTube game more.
For sure.
And that's it. You're making YouTube content. So but there becomes, the Arena Club and the Sports Cards HQ. Your best friend, Jeff, over there.
That's my guy.
By the way, you mentioned in another live that hey, we should get a 2026 debate. Jeff and the professor. We got to make that happen somehow. Come on.
Yeah. I need to. I went there last time and he wasn't there, so we didn't get to speak to face. But
you did that on purpose, huh?
Yeah. Yes, I was. I was afraid. But in Dallas, I'll probably see him. I'll float it out there. See, me and you will hang out this weekend. We'll plant the seeds, and then I'll take that energy to Dallas. I'll talk to Jeff, and then we can get it going.
I love it. Oh, let's make that happen. So what has changed since you've been doing, let's do it this way. You've been making content, you've been buying a lot of cards. What's changed in your thought process, or what maybe someone new or just curious about your journey? Like what journey, that's an overused word, but what, has changed in your thinking?
Ooh, I mean,
Collector Charles Bob views. We called him out for it. Sorry.
Yeah. That's a kind of a broad question. I would say, I've learned a lot of things. I would say specifically with buying, just how much cards are not created equal, even if they're worth the same amount. I think that's something I learned before. Before it was just like, oh, this isn't $100 card. All that matters is the percentage I can buy it at, or a trade or whatever. Now it's like, there's $100 cards I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole, especially like the new rookies and the stuff that's so volatile. And now I've actually switched towards, I've been buying. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy whatever Otani I see, basically, instead of being so preoccupied with like getting stuff at a percentage. And that strategy has actually worked out pretty well for me the last couple months. So it's been interesting. I mean, I've learned a bunch of different things, but it's hard to touch on everything at once, I guess.
Sure. Let me see if when you go to a show, like, okay, you're going to come to Front Row Card Show this week.
Yep.
What might be, because here's one thing that everyone should have some sort of game plan going to a card show. It's not just go and look. First of all, I love to get I get to check the vibe of the hobby at every, it gives you a little better. And number two, you have a strategy going in. I mean, wouldn't you say that you definitely should have some sort of idea going in?
For sure. That helps
what,
a
like
lot.
going to the Front Row Card Show, are you going to make what is just to hang with a friend? Are you going to be looking for certain things?
Yeah, I think I always try to. This may not be super relatable to everyone watching, but I always have at least one content thing front of mind. And right now I'm doing this $1,000 to $10,000 flip challenge. So pretty ambitious, but that's going to be the main thing I'm recording. I'm trying to like spin that up as much as I can while I'm in Vegas. And then in terms of buying, just like I usually try to have like one specific thing I'm looking for. Like right now I'm looking for like Star Autos and PSA 10. I feel like those are moving just super well for me.
Like Star, you're talking about like 1984, 85 basketball, or
no? Star like
like
big
Ohtani.
names. Yeah, Ohtani, Cade Cunningham, like not necessarily like GOAT level, those type of guys. But it is tough. I have found that I have to like kind of focus on whatever. I can only choose one thing. Like sometimes it's like a dollar boxing show. Sometimes it's a raw to grade. Sometimes it's a high end flipping. And that's something that I've found is kind of hard for me. It's like whatever my mind is focused on going into the show, like those are the cards I buy. So that's something I'm wrestling with. Like, how do I decide what is this show for?
What I've noticed at some of those shows, and now I normally look for on card older autos, like not manufactured ones, but that's just what I find fun. You don't see them as much at the shows, but you also don't get the best price at the show. Go.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing, and I've been like hesitant to talk about that a little bit because I like I don't want to like crap on anyone who hosts these shows and stuff. But for me, for like my PC stuff and even for an investments, like to be honest, I kind of prefer to just do it from home. I find it more efficient. I collect weird things. Like I'm not going to walk into a show and find like a John Collins 101. It's just not going to happen. Or like soccer cards or that stuff.
It's also more impulse because at home you're like researching, you're checking 7 things there. You're just in the moment. So when I bought those One Piece box, I'm not sure. I mean, I literally walked outside of the show for 2 hours doing my research because I don't want to make a big impulse. I just don't want it to be that way. Let me move to my next question for you.
I'm the same way too. Like that's the other thing I struggle with is I really like to think through things and look at all the data and stuff like that. So sometimes I find it hard to in a show environment to like be processing all this different information. There's a bunch of people going on. So shows are kind of a lot.